Good. So, turn and share the screen. So, welcome to our marketing mastery. This is really to sort of go through those fundamentals of marketing and give you a bit of an insight as to when we are going out there, what are we trying to do, how we put marketing campaigns together. Okay, because a lot of people just go straight in, spend loads and loads of money on stuff, and then wonder why they don't get any results from it. So obviously, I think you've been to a few of these. Rosanna's probably your first one. Okay, so Rosanna is with us, so good. So if you want to just sort of type in the chat box, Rosanna, when you've got questions, that would be great. And as I ask some questions, just give us a reply in there. So there's 6 in this series. They happen twice a month, and then we just rotate them each quarter. Obviously, marketing is really, our focus is about lead generation. It's about new business. How do we bring new clients in for existing businesses? So when we're marketing to our existing client base, we tend to pick that up in customer mastery, and then converting the sales is really down to the sales process, and we do that in the sales. So ideally, you want to sort of do those 3 together, because then it goes lead generation, sales, and then repeat business. Okay, so but we are very much focused on generating inquiries coming in. So Claire's give me a bit of an insight to what she's looking for, acting as support for the marketing team. Rosanna, if you can just type in what, is there something key that you'd like to get out? I believe you're running the marketing department at Primrose, so it'd be good to know a little bit about, if there's one thing around marketing or a particular area that you'd like me to ensure I cover today. So if you could just type something in the box there, that would be great. More specific you can be, the better. And Claire, so you've got no marketing experience outside the little bit that you've been doing?
Not per se. Obviously, you cultivate relationships, you sell the product you've got, you tailor it to whatever your customer needs to make it more relevant. But other than that, no proper marketing experience. No. Okay.
And Rosanna, if you could put on there, how long you've been in marketing and if there's any experience you've had, because it would be good. So I don't teach you to suck eggs, but I think sometimes actually understanding the basics will be really important. Oh, brilliant! So marketing done third party. So you're managing the third party company with Rosanna. That's good, because I like that, because if we understand what I'm going to go through, it really helps you keep them accountable. Otherwise, they promise the earth and deliver next to nothing. And I know we had a bit of an issue with the web company, didn't we, Claire?
Oh yes.
So there's a case in point. So and so good few years experience in there. So if I do go into a little bit too basic, then just sort of let me know, Rosanna. But I think hopefully you'll understand why I need to go back to the basics, because from there we can build forward. So we'll go right back to the real basics then, and just sort of say, well, what is marketing? If we don't understand what it really is, then sometimes that causes us confusion from day one. So Rosanna, if you just type in what you think marketing is, if you've done some marketing courses, they would have told you marketing is this, and this, and this. And I've surveyed a number of, even the Chartered Institute of Marketeers. They give certain sort of definitions of what it is. But Claire, from your point, what would you say marketing is?
Selling your company to the market, telling people what you do and what you can offer them.
Yep. Okay.
Listening to the answers to see if you need to tailor it accordingly.
Yeah, that's quite a nice way to actually sort of put it across. So it's part of the sales process. Selling your company, brand awareness. Yeah. So sales via marketing, addressing client needs. Excellent. Good. So if you go in and study marketing, they sort of to me, they overcomplicate it. Okay, because both of you have sort of said some. I can't fault them. They're true. They're part of marketing. Brand awareness is part of marketing. Getting clients to buy from us is part of marketing. This is something. The 7 P's of marketing. It's all about the product and promotion and price and all these things that are relevant. But when it really comes down to it, marketing really is just about lead generation. It's how do I get somebody to make an inquiry, and do something and come in. So it might be come to the website to buy from the website. It might be how do I get them to pick up the phone and talk to me? How do I get them to send an email to me? Yeah. So marketing is very much about lead generation, which is this bit here. Sales then takes over. It's like a relay race. So I pass the baton then to sales. Then is about how do I take that inquiry and get that inquiry to buy from us.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, they are 2 distinct roles. Now, when we talk about sales and marketing, yes, overall they go together, but actually it's sales and marketing and account management all go together because all of those 3 things. It's all of these. You can see this in our 5 ways. That drive revenues. For me, marketing does touch on each of these. The main purpose of marketing is to actually get people to take action, people to actually make an inquiry and generate a lead, a potential to sell. It's not selling. I'm not actually selling from my marketing. It's actually the potential then to be able to sell to them. And then the sales process kicks in.
Yeah, drawing interest. To then develop.
Drawing enough interest to make them go, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. Or yes, I'd like to. I'm thinking about buying that. So an easy way, if you think about selling cars, because sometimes selling something simple like that is easy. It's how do I get them into the showroom? How do I actually get them from not knowing who they are to actually seeing the car and then coming into the showroom? Now, that's changed a little bit with things like Kazoo, because now people don't even come to the showroom.
Yeah.
I can actually buy it online, but it's how do I get them to the website? How do I get them to the website? Because the website then is my sales tool, and that's about conversion. This is about getting them to the website in the first place. Okay. So when we come back to our marketing company, so for you, Rosanna, when you've got a marketing company, and they say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to post this, and I'll do this. And all you need to say is, okay, so the number 1 goal and the number 1 key performance metric I'm going to monitor to you is how many inquiries do you create? I don't care how many hits my website gets. You can get 1 million people onto my website, but if nobody actually is able to buy from that, then it's of no interest to me. Okay, if nobody phones me up, if nobody sends me an email, if nobody comes into the shop, that is the ultimate aim of marketing. Okay, and if I can't relate the activity to the result, then the marketing's not working. I might have the best brand in the world, but if it doesn't drive more sales, it was a waste of time. Okay, and what you'll find with external marketing companies, they'll promise all this, and then you say, right, so I'm going to monitor you towards the number of leads that you actually create. You just see all the blood drain out of their face. Because they're good at doing stuff, putting stuff out there, and they'll say, oh yeah, I've improved your brand, and it's I've done these posts, I've done 1,000 posts, I've done this, I've done this. So, well, no one's picked up the phone. Literally nobody has come into my shop as a result of the marketing you're doing. Therefore, it doesn't work.
You're pitching it wrong. You've got wrong information. You're going to the wrong people.
Something's wrong, and you're the marketing expert, so you should know what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's what I expect from you. But if I can't find the leads, then I'm going to be in trouble. So if we come back, and I use this formula for all my sort of workshops, and I use it a lot, and it's because it's the formula for success. what I want to have is my dreams and my goals. Who do I need to be is my knowledge and skills, and do is the action. So if I'm saying in marketing, if I don't know what I want to have, then if I don't have clarity around this, then how do I know what to do, and how do I know how to improve my skills? How do I know to challenge somebody? So we've got to have clarity around what the have is. What is it I really want to have as a result of my marketing? Doesn't matter what it is, whether I'm phoning, whether I'm sending letters out, whether I've got a website, whether I've got emails, whether I'm doing social media. If I don't know what is it I want to have, then I can't then focus on what I want to do and what I want to be. Okay, so within marketing, we've got to be really clear what the goal is. So start thinking then and say, I would say the first thing we do when we, in any marketing plan is to actually set, well, what is the goal? What is it specifically want to achieve? So Rosanna, if you can just type in what your marketing goal is, based on the fact that it's, I said marketing is about lead generation. It's not about sales. It's about lead generation. If you want to choose one channel, because sometimes it's easier to think about a particular channel, have a think about what a goal would be. And same for you, Claire. So if you take one particular area and say, okay, so what would my marketing goal be?
Well, for existing customers, I'm running light on work at the moment, so I've structured an email to say what it is we can offer them.
Yep.
Email them out. Right, we can offer you this. We last did it then. Would you like us to quote? And then obviously, if you get a reply, that's when it turns into the quoting stage, which hopefully then leads to the sales stage. Okay. And you have delivery, etc., etc. It all works through the life of the inquiry from start to finish.
Brilliant. That's one of the fluffiest goals I've ever heard, Claire.
I want to get a job, therefore I've got to put myself out there to say, this is what I can do for you.
So what we've got to have is a SMART goal. You've heard the term SMART goals?
Yep.
So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, in a time frame. I change it and I add an I and E on the end. They've got to be inspiring and emotional, which I call SMARTY goals. Because if you remember the old advert, Smarties have the answer.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if we looked at that goal, and for you, Rosanna, as well, getting social media view in our CRM system essentially is potential. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Can I measure the success of both of those goals? Yeah. And that's the big issue with this, is a lot of goals that we set in marketing are fluffy. They're airy fairy. I can't, what I call, hang my coat on it. So if I said to you, Claire, now make that goal that you told me now something that's smart.
Mine isn't fluffy because it's your testing is required. This is what you need. There's a specific, measurable, we can quote to carry this out. Achievable, we can do this within a week of you placing an order.
But I'm not looking at in that, I'm looking for the goal. So as a result of your marketing, so you're going to spend time and money on this campaign, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So was this an email campaign you were going to do, or a letter?
Emails that I send out to each customer when they're testing each thing.
So okay. So you're going to send, and how many emails are you going to send out?
15, 20 whenever I do it. So it's a standard email that then has a different, obviously, recipient in each case.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend time sending 15 emails out, okay, on a regular basis. So the goal then is, as a result of sending that email out, what do you want to happen?
A reply back saying, yes, please quote.
Fantastic. So how many replies do you want?
All of them.
All of them.
My hit rate is all of them, which is good.
So you send out 10 emails.
And I hope to get at least 8 back.
And you want 8 back?
At least,
okay.
But I normally get all of them.
So you send out 10 emails and you get 10 back, or 8 to 10 back.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I mean, that's, to me, that if you said, right, I'm going to send 10 emails out, and my goal is to get 8 positive responses.
But that is marketing to existing customers, not marketing to
exactly.
a new broad. A new one, you probably send out 50, and you're lucky if you get 10 back. but that's
Fine.
probably good.
Yeah, it's still good. You know, I would still, you know, for 50 emails, if I got, you know, a 20% return on an email campaign, I'd be over the moon.
Would be, but then you've got to develop that into, so you've got to convert that again on the next stage into sales. But that's another.
That's we do that in the sales.
Yeah.
So that's why I say this is marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is, can I send 20 out and get 8, or 10 out and get 8 responses? Can I send 50 out and get 5 responses? So there's always a conversion rate here. I do this, I get this. And when we talk about SMART goals, we're talking about specific measurables. So specific is, I want 8, I'm going to send out 10 emails and I want 8 to reply.
Yeah.
Is that realistic in a time frame? Yes, it is. Yeah. Is it inspiring and emotional? Does it make me happy when that happens? Yes, it does. Fantastic. Okay. Now, if I wanted 100 leads, yeah, and I knew those numbers, well, that's easy, because I'd just have to send out, you know, 120 emails. So marketing for me is maths. Yeah, there's got to be a number associated with it. Okay, so Rosanna, on your social media side of it, you know, I want to be able to say, right, I'm sending out this number of posts, and as a result of those posts, I'm getting this response rate. Okay, I've got to have a measurement in there. And so when you're outsourcing this to marketing companies, and even internally, yeah, if you're doing marketing and you don't have a measurement, then your marketing is destined, I wouldn't say it's destined to fail, okay, but it's destined that you're not going to understand how it works and how to do it better and more of it. Okay, so with traditional, you know, email marketing is generally easy. I send 1,000 out. You know, I'd probably expect something around about, of 1,000 cold emails, I probably expect about 100 to be seen, about 10%, and of the 100 to be seen, I'd expect about 1% to respond. So I know if I want 1 lead, I've got to send out 1,000. And if my sales conversion rate is 50%, if I want 1 client, I have to send 2,000, because 2,000 leaves 20, leaves to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to understand the numbers, and this is the biggest thing with external marketing companies, is they generally are bad at recording their own numbers, and therefore when you ask them, well, how this is going, oh yeah, it's going really great, yeah, I feel this strategy is brilliant. Well, show me the numbers.
There's your woolly. Yeah,
it all becomes a bit fluffy. So if we look at this and say, you know, when we're really setting our marketing budget, we sort of really want to start at the top, but actually at the bottom. You know, if you think about what is the purpose of a business, yeah, the purpose of a business is to generate profit. Okay, if we're not generating profit in a business, then we're not playing the game properly. So we've got to focus on the profit. In order to achieve a profit level, we have to hit a certain sales figure. Okay, so there'll be a budget for the year, budget for the quarter. There'll be a target for the month, maybe a target for the week, maybe a target for the day. Depends what game you're playing, and what time frame you're playing over. But we have to have a sales target, and we need to know what the average transaction value is. Okay, so if I put some numbers on this, let me see if I can get my pen to work. Okay, so let's say I want 100,000 profit. Okay, and I know my profit is 10%. So therefore, I need 1,000 of sales, or £1 million of sales, whichever that is. And let's say my average transaction value is £1,000. So every time I sell something, okay, it's £1,000. So how many sales do I need?
If your sales is 10,000, you need 10.
No, so my average pound is £1,000. Yeah, and I want a million. So that's £1 million. So it's 1 million, 1,000 thousands. Yeah. So I'm going to need, I've got threes, I'm going to need 1,000 sales, aren't I? So I've got to sell 1,000 units or 1,000 whatever I'm selling.
At that figure to achieve that total.
To get that figure, yeah. So 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000. Yeah, 1,000,000 at 10% is 100,000. So whatever our numbers are, you should be able to say, right, how many do I need? So I need 1,000 sales at £1,000. That's to hit my overall sales target. Now I'm going to break this down into existing business and new business. So if I know that my existing clients should bring in half of my sales, so 500 sales are going to come from my existing clients, and we deal that in customer mastery. Yeah. Therefore, new business, I need 500 sales. New business, I need 500 new sales. It's 10 a week. Okay. And I know my conversion rate. So if I get in front of 10 people, I'll convert, let's say, half of them. So my 50%. Okay. So therefore, I need 1,000 leads. Okay, so 1,000 leads at 50% gives me 500. Each of those 500 spends £1,000. That's 500,000, and I make 10%. So 50,000 of my profit will come from my marketing campaigns. And if I want 1,000 leads, I then need to break that down into my activity. So what are my strategies? So I might have 10 strategies that are going on. So I've got social media, I've got email, I've got website, I've got telephone calls, I've got referral strategies. Each one of these might account for 10%. So each one has got to bring in 100. Okay. Divide that by, say, 50 weeks. So I want 2 leads per week per strategy. So if I'm spending that money and that time on that strategy, is it bringing me in the 2 leads? Because if it does this and I achieve my normal rates, then I can't help achieve my profit. Okay, so when we are in our marketing, and certainly when we're running marketing teams, we've got to be really clear. What is the goal? What is the expectation? Okay, what am I actually here to achieve? What does success look like? How do I know if this week has been a good week? If I turn up and I've made, if it's I had to do 20 leads in a week, and I achieve 50 leads in that week, it's been a bloody good week. Yeah, if I achieve 2, it's not been not so good a week. Okay, and if it's been 50, I can say, okay, so why is this week a better week? Can I make next week a better week? And if it's 2, it's why has it been 2? Can I make next week a better week? It's not, I did 50, therefore I can have the next 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any marketing now. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, when we have loads of leads, we can swamp sales. Yeah, and sales suddenly, I can't deal with any more leads, and you have to turn the marketing down, which to me, that's a real shame. What you want to do is step sales up, put more resource in sales to keep up with the leads, because leads are expensive to actually achieve. Okay, so Rosanna, when you're dealing with your marketing companies, you've got to get this really clear. Look, guys, I'm expecting you through your activity to generate this amount of sales or this amount of leads, because these are my conversion rates. And if I'm paying you this amount, then that's what I actually need. And if we think about this, if I was, let's say this was the right numbers, and I was looking for £50,000 of profit. Okay, if I wanted £50,000 of profit from this deal, how much do I spend in order to get £50,000 of profit?
You have to work it all out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd say, well, would I spend £50,000 to get £50,000?
No, you'd have to spend more to get it. But hopefully, once you've spent it, you then get more later.
You might get more, you might get some ongoing later. Yeah. You know, but that's a decision you've got to make. You know, so sometimes you'll spend 50,000, you know, to get 50,000 because you keep that client for 10 years and they spend 50,000 a year, you'll actually make 500,000 over 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Other times you may say, well, actually, it's a one-off. I won't get that again. So I'll only spend 5,000.
Yeah.
I'll spend 10%. So this now sets your marketing budget. So I've now know I've got 5 grand or 50 grand to spend in order to get 50. Okay, so that's another one of my trackers is how much money and time am I spending in order to get the leads that I'm actually getting. Okay, so we have to know these numbers. Yeah, it's really key to actually making this work. So, unfortunately, we seem to have lost Susanna. So
yes.
Okay, so that's why, you know, having our goals in marketing, having our goals in every area of the business is important, but in marketing is especially important. So then we sort of look at our beliefs. So what do we think to be true? Yeah. And for a lot of people, you know, they see marketing as a cost. Yeah, if I spend money, it comes off the profit and loss account. I make less money. We have to think marketing as an investment. Yeah, exactly as I've gone through there. If I spend this amount of money, I should be getting this amount of money back.
Yeah, if you don't put in, you can't get out.
Exactly. Yep. So and understanding the numbers means I can make better decisions, yeah, and less likely to lose my shirt on it. So the reason we don't, you know, is generally because there's a lack of time. Yeah, there's a lack of money and there's a lack of skill in the business. Okay, so we don't put enough time into marketing, we don't put enough money into it, and we don't put enough skill into it.
Yeah.
So we've got to understand, you know, sometimes we do this in-house because, you know, we've got the skill, but maybe we don't have the money. Yeah. Sometimes we've got to outsource it because we don't have the time or the skill, but we have the money. Okay. But we've always got to look at whatever strategy we work on is, yeah, have we got the right, we put the right amount of time into it, the right amount of skill into it, and the right amount of money into it. Because very often we don't do enough of that, and that's why, you know, things go wrong.
Yeah. Either spend a lot of time with someone who's not quite skilled and therefore can't put it out, put a lot of time into it, but don't put the right marketing, therefore don't get the leads back. So it's getting the balance right, isn't it?
It's always getting the balance right, and that's why you've got to test and measure this. You've got to measure it, test it, and see if my skill, money, time balance is right. So, and often it's very difficult to get it perfect, but you know, this isn't about perfect. This is about good enough to get the results that I'm after.
And also, you learn from what you do as to whether it's right and do more. If it's not right, why isn't it? Change it to get a better result.
And something else, yeah.
And also, if it's not the right person doing it, maybe take that person out, put someone else who's better suited for it.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So you've also got to believe that, you know, you are not the customer, and this is a big challenge, predominantly for technical businesses, because you understand your product inside out. Yeah, you know every single aspect of it, and you're very technical. And what happens with technical businesses is we try and tell people to bring them up to our level of competence. Okay, so understanding that our clients and prospects, you know, are not us, you know, they have their own way of thinking is the fundamental starting point for marketing. Is we must not talk in our language, we must understand their language.
And this goes back to this last week, and don't necessarily go do as you would be done by.
Yes.
Do as someone would be done by. Listen to them.
So we have to put ourselves in our client's shoes and go, right, from your perspective, what is it that you're looking to do? And the essence of this really is they're looking from one of these points of view. Either they need something and they're moving away from pain. Yeah, so they've got a problem. I've got this big problem. It's causing me pain. It's costing me money. It's costing me time. You know, my life is dependent on it. Whatever it is, something's causing me an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be a want towards pleasure, that I'm okay as I am, but actually I want something better.
Yeah. It works as it is, but can I have a better solution to be a better, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. You know, it's like a car. You know, if you think about the reasons you want to buy a car are either the car you've got is broken down or costing you a lot of money. Yeah. You want a better, nicer car. Yeah. Or the purpose for others, you're buying a car for somebody else.
Yeah.
I've got to buy a car for my mum, my gran, my daughter. Okay. So each way, if I'm buying something, if I'm marketing to somebody who is a move away from person, they're going to appeal to a certain message. Somebody who's a want towards pleasure is a different message. Somebody who's for purpose for others is another different message.
Yeah. Again,
so
that's understanding your customers, isn't it?
Exactly. So there's we can't just have one marketing campaign that is going to appeal to all three types of people. You need 3 marketing campaigns, or you decide which one is where the majority of people are, and we just focus on that. We just want people who are in pain. We just want people who are moving towards pleasure, or we want people who are looking for others. Now, depending on what it is, but you generally find these two, or this one is probably the biggest one, this is the second biggest, and this is the smallest. Because it's just the way the world works. There's more people in pain than there are looking for pleasure.
Yeah. I was going to say, from my point of view, for LEV, it's not necessarily pain, but it's needed to meet regulations, but the purpose is to make it safe for your employees. So it's a balance. You've got to approach the customer in the right way to draw in the right response.
Yeah. Overall, it's a balance, but if you took individual sectors and individual businesses, it's probably one of those is more important.
Yeah.
And I would generally say that compliance is more important than keeping our team safe. Just in normal people's heads.
Most businesses, yeah.
Okay, but I'm not saying there wouldn't be the towards pleasure, but my marketing would probably go for the bigger group, which will be compliance.
Yeah, you need it. Yeah.
You're not compliant, therefore you need to be compliant.
Yeah.
But the cost of not being compliant would be onerous, and this is a far cheaper way than not being compliant.
Exactly.
So you're pushing on the pain points to actually get.
The aside is your staff will be happier, your staff will be better. Yeah. So it's the aside rather than the key in most cases. You're right.
Yeah. So when we come to so what do we now need to do within our marketing campaign? So we know what we want to have. We know we need to look at from our mindset to be our customer, not us. And then we're going to start putting our marketing plan together, what we need to do. So the first thing that we've got to understand is the more specific we are around our target, so who our client is, the easier our campaign's going to be. Once we know who our target is, then we need a compelling offer that makes them go, oh, that sounds great. That's exactly what I need. I'll come and inquire, or I'll give you a call, I'll come to your website. And then the least important out of this is the copy, which is the actual words that we use and the way we communicate the message. So if we look at these in order of importance and score, we would say target 10 out of 10. Offer 5 out of 10, copy about 2 out of 10. So we've got to be focused here around our target and spend our maximum amount of time really identifying who we are going after. Okay, so when we do that, we start saying, right, well, who are our A grade clients? So an A grade client is an awesome client. Yeah, who do we want on board? We don't want anybody.
No.
We want the best of people that we can get. So why are they A grade? What is it about them that makes them A grade? That really understand who our client is. Yeah, what is their problem? Again, is it a need? Is it a want? Is it a purpose? Yeah, and where will we find them? Where are these people hanging out? Okay, and sometimes we need to go and talk to them. Sometimes the best way to understand and find more A grade clients is go and talk to the existing A grade clients. Get to really know them. So when you came to us, what was it about us that attracted you?
Yeah.
What do we do well that that you like? What is it that you don't like?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever marketing campaign that we go for, the first question we ask is, right, who are we marketing to?
Yeah.
And more marketing pounds have been wasted on untargeted marketing than anything else. Oh, everybody wants everyone can benefit from our stuff. So we put a bland advert to everybody. No. If everybody wants it, still break them down into, so what is it? Is it an age demographic? Is it a sex demographic? Is it a location demographic? The more we understand, the more we can break it down, the more targeted our marketing can be, the more effective it will be, and the less money we'll spend. So we need to understand what questions are they asking. And this is a great little book by a guy called Marcus Sheridan. They ask, you answer. So he built an industry-leading website that sold more, I think it was swimming pools, than any other business, because he answered the customer's question. The customer was interested in, how much does a swimming pool cost? What size of swimming pool should I have?
Yeah, he didn't want the airy fairies that went around it. They just wanted the straight answers.
They don't want to know the science behind a swimming pool, what makes a swimming pool great. They want a solution to their problem. Okay, so you basically get into your client's shoes and say, right, what questions are they asking?
Yeah, because you can't sell someone something they don't want. If you listen right, you can target it specifically rather than spend half your day trying to sell them something they're just not interested at all in.
Yeah. So some of the questions they ask are, we call them the big five. What is the price and cost?
Always.
Now, a lot of time, businesses are scared to put the price and cost on their website because they think, well, what happens if the competitors find out?
Yeah, can I undercut? Can I be undercut?
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, how difficult is it for a competitor to find out your prices?
Dead easy.
Yeah. So why hide it? They're going to, if they really want it, they'll find it out. So, yeah. But what are the problems and what could go wrong? What's the elephant in the room? So when I buy these sorts of things, are there any fears they have when they're buying them?
Yeah.
How do we compare to competitors? So unbiased reviews. If you think about what you buy now, and certainly when you buy it online, one of the first things you'll look at is the reviews.
And the price. Yeah, exactly.
The price. And how does it compare to competitors? So if we're being honest with that and say, look, we're really strong in these features, but actually our competitors are better in those features. As long as we're comfortable that we have our USP and why people should buy us, we shouldn't be fearful of actually saying, okay, on that basis, we are more expensive than our competitors, but this is why.
Yeah, that's a key one.
What do customers think about your work? So reviews. Are we actually asking people for their feedback? Are we building our Google reviews? Because people look for social proof. Certainly for the first time they're buying, they're looking around. Well, who else is buying from this? If no one else is buying from it, then it can't be that good then, can it? So if we can build some social proof, then it really does help. And who are the best competitors? Give people that sort of, when I go to a site and people say, well, actually, here's the top 10 people that supply. I think positively of the company that's actually given me that information. Because
if you're confident to give people information, they will be more confident in what you can offer.
Yeah. They're looking, a lot of time in the marketing phase, people are looking for information. They're in the fact finding. So if you're the person that's giving them all the facts, you're building that trust up with them and that relationship up with them. Therefore, if you've got the right product, then there's a good chance they'll come to you. There's always a risk they'll go somewhere else. But if you've done enough of that, then you're going to be further ahead in the sales process than they are. So basically, you've got a sale to lose rather than a sale to win.
Yeah. Was that I quoted for a servicing last year. Quoted, local business, lost it. Fair enough. Went back to her and said, okay, fair enough. Well, you've got to get better prices from somewhere else. If you need us, come back to us.
Yeah.
6 months later, came back. They got someone else in who tried to rip them off. They've had us in several times now, and they're all very happy with what they got.
Yeah.
In some ways, that's probably the better thing to do, because they then realise exactly their grass wasn't greener elsewhere.
Or you've got to say, well, how do we get that message across that we are better and different?
That you don't have to do the step
early on.
Back.
Yeah. So that's where you'd say, well, we need to tweak our marketing to have something that means that they see the value in what we do, rather than go and try it elsewhere and then realise that we're bad value.
Yeah.
Communication is the response you get. So if we're not communicating the right way, we shouldn't be surprised we get that response.
Exactly.
Then we look at our old versus new marketing. So in the old days, if you can, I say the old days, but you're probably looking about 10, 15 years ago. Generally speaking, we had a captive audience. So if you go back to pre-internet days, okay, this is probably what we're talking about, old marketing. The only way to actually sell to an audience pre-internet was TV and press.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe billboards, but adverts in the paper or adverts on TV.
Yeah.
So we had a captive audience. Yeah, there was limited choice. Generally, they were uneducated because they didn't know, because there wasn't that sort of flow of information around. I think back then, I certainly feel we had more time. Yeah. And there wasn't that much noise in the marketplace, because there's only so many adverts you can get in a paper.
Well, there wasn't so many of the same thing around, was there?
No. And what happened in those days is, as press and TV advertising became more and more expensive, only really the big boys could actually pay for it. So because they were the ones who could afford it, they're the ones who got all the business, so they got bigger. So a lot of the small businesses lost out because they just couldn't afford to compete. Then internet came along, and it meant that we had much more of a transient audience. So people flip from here to here. You don't just have one newspaper. You're getting your information from many sources. There's lots more choice. Now we're competing not only against businesses in our town, but in the country, and if not the world. So people have got a lot more choice around there. There's also a stage now where we've got this information overload. There's almost too much information. And I don't have enough time, and there's a lot of noise in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So we've got to be thinking, well, how do we stand out in this? How do we capture with all of these things that are happening now? How do we really stand out from the crowd?
Yeah.
And the way that we do that is through either a unique selling proposition or a really clear brand guarantee. And that's when we come to marketing, where we talked about, I've got to get the brand out there. No, you've got to get your uniqueness out there, and your trust building, and why people should come to you, not somebody else. But ultimately, they still need to come to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so and a way you can build this, so a unique selling proposition is something that's unique about you. A guarantee is more about how you deliver the service. Okay, but when you market, you've got to stand out. If you're just the same as everybody else, you're going to get ignored.
Yeah.
Okay, and in a crowdy, busy place, that's really difficult. So imagine you're in, let's say, in China, in Beijing, and you've got a food stall, along with 1,000 other food stalls. How do you get people to your food stall over everyone else's? You've got to do something different.
Yeah.
You've got to be a bit more flamboyant, a bit more out there to actually for people to spot you. And one of the ways that we can do that within our marketing is we build this story brand. Okay, so the brand is the story. It's the uniqueness of how we came to being. So rather than saying there's one thing, no, it's never one thing. It's an amalgam of many things together. And if we're consistent in our marketing message about that story, then people will buy into that story and have affinity with us and have an emotional connection with us as opposed to somebody else.
And this is things like where certain marketing campaigns on television, like the Bisto ads, the family, the food of the family, Wolves, the dog, Andrews, the puppy, that's the emotional side, drawing you into a practical product.
Exactly. And it generally works better for want and desire and purpose-led things than need-led things. Okay, it does work for need, but need is about, if let's say your arm's fallen off, do you care what band did you use? No,
as long as you've got something to tie it on. Exactly.
Okay, so therefore I just need to be, if my market is full of people who cut themselves, then all I've got to be is in the right place at the right time with the right product. If I'm doing something that's a bit more luxury and a bit more want and desire, then it's not going to be necessarily an instant decision. The people have got to start to know, like, and trust me. So I need to build that relationship up to a point where when they are ready to buy, I'm the person they go to.
And entice out the idea that they might like to do that. So by the time they decide, they've gone in the right direction.
Yeah. And that's why marketing, there's direct marketing, direct response marketing, which is, I do this and I expect a response immediately. And then there's nurture marketing, which is I'm building a relationship over a period of time with a view that when they're ready to buy, they then buy from me.
Yeah, because they've heard about you, they've seen you, they're ready to come to you.
Yeah. Okay, so one, the time frame is going to be a lot longer than the other one. One, the measurement is going to be different to the other one. Yeah. One is harder. If you're trying to build a relationship with people, it's harder to measure that than if I'm just selling plasters to people that have chopped their fingers off. But measure, I still need to. I need to measure that interaction and that engagement between those. So how many people are engaged in these conversations? Okay, and that's where social media can help us because we do have the ability to measure and test those things. So why do we need sort of this story? Why do we need to get people to actually understand us? Well, it comes back to a little formula that we use. We use this in sales and other places as well. And this is, I call the formula for change. So R is our resistance to change. Okay, so everybody has a resistance to doing something. Okay, so whatever it is in life, it's easier not to change than it is to change. So is there something, Claire, that you want to change?
Oh, probably loads of things.
Just say
leaving on time would be one of them.
Leaving on time, okay. So you have a resistance to leaving on time.
Not quite a resistance, but yeah, I can use it as a resistance.
Okay, so I've not done this one before, so you have to bear with me. But there's a resistance to leaving on time
because I love being at work.
Well, we'll come to that in a second. So the first steps then. So the F is the first step. So do you have the skills and knowledge to actually leave on time?
I do.
do I need to send you on a training course on how to leave on time?
Possibly.
Possibly do. Possibly I need, there's a skill there that you don't yet possess in order to leave on time. So maybe I need to do a bit of training, a bit of education to help you overcome that resistance.
So recognize it to then correct it.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes I need to educate my customer, my client or potential client, to overcome their resistance, their fear of doing something. Now, maybe it's the fear of price. Oh, buying that is expensive. Well, I need to educate you that it's not expensive. Yeah. Or, compared to what is expensive, it's not about the price you pay, it's about the value you get. So maybe there's some education I need to do around that. Okay. So but that only goes so far, because I could give you the skills to leave on time, but you may still not leave on time. Yeah. So what's more powerful is the D and the V. So the D is the dissatisfaction with the status quo, the way you are at the moment, and V is the vision of where you want to be in the future. Okay. So when we do our marketing, when we have our USP and where we've got our story brand, what it can do is it can reduce this resistance. Okay, so it can reduce the resistance and the risk of actually coming on board. It can educate on why we need to do this. Yeah,
you've got an existing dust extraction system, it works fine. Yes, but if you change it to Smart Air, it will shut off all the dampers and therefore you won't use Bees Energy juicy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sometimes though we've got to pick on the D and we've got to bring in more dissatisfaction. So our marketing needs to really be, it's a bit like going to the doctor and you've got a sore arm. If the doctor pokes your arm and it hurts, you're more likely to take his advice.
Yeah.
Okay, because geez, we'll take 2 of those 3 times a day.
Highlight the pain to then offer the gain.
Exactly, highlight the pain to offer the gain. So sometimes we've got to build on that dissatisfaction. So go back to you leaving on time. If there's no dissatisfaction with leaving late, because actually, I could leave late, but no one really, no one's that bothered at home. I can live with it. Then you don't have enough dissatisfaction then to leave on time. If you knew that your child or pet or whatever was going to die if you were 5 minutes late,
you wouldn't be late.
You wouldn't be late.
No.
Okay, so if the dissatisfaction is big enough, it will always overcome the resistance. But where it's not is because we don't have enough dissatisfaction.
Yeah. Let's just turn this light on, it's dark in here. Okay, Google, turn the light on, please. If I touch the light switch, it will go off and I'll get told off.
Oh, look at that. That's very clever.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Hey, Google, switch the light off.
Don't you dare.
Yeah.
So now I've got a troublemaker on the other side of the screen. Okay, Google, turn the light back on, please. If I touch the switch, my son will kill me because I'll bugger something up. Okay, we'll turn on now, are we? Okay, Google, turn the light on, please. Oh, there you go. Let there be.
Look at that. Does it make the tea as well?
No, the son and the husbands do that. I mean, my husband and my sons do that.
Right.
Much more fun.
So sometimes we've got to build on that dissatisfaction. Sometimes we've got to build on the vision. So the vision is
on it.
Go back to the leaving on time. If you left on time, what would be the benefits to you?
You'd have more time at home with your pet.
What would you do with that time? So sometimes we use our marketing to paint the picture, paint a positive picture. So if you ask Google to make a cup of tea, it comes.
It comes.
Works my end.
I just got offered one and I said no.
Okay. So our USP, our guarantee, our story, and our marketing is either it's reducing the resistance by showing the first steps, this is what we need to do, or it's building more dissatisfaction, or it's building vision, or if you can, a combination of all those. So if our marketing is not focused in one of those areas, then it's not going to be effective. Yeah, and this is why, you know, when I cringe when people say we're doing some brand marketing. You know, that just means you've got more money to spend than sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you say I'm doing some marketing to create dissatisfaction, or I'm doing some marketing to build a vision, or I'm doing marketing to reduce resistance and, you know, show the first steps, then I can see it's now has a purpose. So, you know, our USP, when we come to it, you know, it can't be vague. It can't be, you know, unspecific, like, you know, we care, we're the best, locally owned, you know, friendly. These are just, yeah, I could put those on anybody.
Yeah.
You know, they're meaningless. And for me, the customer, you know, I sort of expect all those anyway. You know, I don't expect to buy from a company that doesn't care, or you know, isn't good. You know, locally owned, operated.
Yeah,
maybe that's important to me, but you know, in a global market, it's probably less important now. So we can choose, you know, from many different areas, you know, of our guarantee. I should do this, so I'd have to click all the time. But yeah, there's sort of 20 different ways. You know, it could be the fastest. It could be about speed, quality, exclusivity. You know, there's a number of ways we can actually pick our area of uniqueness, or a combination of those. But we've got to have something that stands out. So, you know, with Smart Air, you know, we know it's, you know, it's a patented technology. You know, it's a world beater. You know, it has a proven track record. You know, we've got it with a product. Sometimes it's more difficult with a service.
Yeah.
So with a service, tend to have a guarantee.
Yes.
So we can guarantee satisfaction. We can guarantee all the issues. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing we need is, who's our target? Then our offer is all about getting across our uniqueness, our selling proposition, and getting them to actually do something. Okay, having a call to action. Once we've got that, then we can decide which marketing strategy we're going to use. And most people start with, I'm going to do some Facebook advertising. Yeah, I'm going to do a picture of this product, and I'm going to send it to everybody.
Yeah.
What we need to start doing is saying, I want to get into, you know, manufacturers,
particular market,
this particular market, who have this problem, and this is what I'm going to actually communicate to them, that our unique selling proposition and our guarantee will overcome their resistance, and I'm going to use Facebook in order to get through to them.
Yeah.
The copy, you know, which strategy, which medium, and the words I use is always last.
Yeah, because you've got to know what you want to say and who you're saying it to and why, before you can actually construct what you're saying.
Yeah. Are they on Facebook? Is Facebook the best way to communicate that message? You know, or is picking up the phone the best way, or sending them a letter the best way, or meeting them the best way?
Yeah.
Until you know who and what you're trying to say, you don't know which way is going to be the best way to communicate it to. So when we know our target and we go, right, that's who we're going to go for, and we're trying to get our offer across, there's a little principle we call the AIDA principle. Okay, and AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So every piece of marketing we do, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a letter, an email, social media post, it must follow the AIDA principle. So it must be able to capture somebody's attention.
Mhm.
Okay, because in today's busy world, we have less and less time to focus on anything. So if we don't capture that attention within seconds, you think about when you go through your inbox in the morning. Yeah, you go delete, 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 delete. Oh, there's one that looks interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
When you're on social media, you're going flick, 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 flick. Oh, there's something interesting. When you're reading a newspaper, you're going turn page, turn page. Oh, there's something interesting. So if we don't have something that grabs our attention and then shows some interest and desire, so the emotional side of things, then we're just going to overlook it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we've got their attention, we've drawn them in, then we have to have a clear call of action of, right, what do I want you to do next? What's the next phase, next part of this process?
Mm.
So to give you a bit of an example of how this can look, and so I'm using a traditional form of marketing here, but the principles, doesn't matter what we do, the principles are all the same. So when Sophie's doing some marketing or there's something going out, in the back of your mind, you look at it and go, does this follow the AIDA principle? Okay.
Mm.
So here's an advert. This is a newspaper advert. It's a little bit old at the moment, but it's an award-winning advert because why would it get awards? Because it
draws you in.
draws you in.
You don't sleep very well. Oh, there's a solution so I can sleep better.
So why did it win the award? Why did it win a marketing award?
I suppose it's a balance of pictorial to draw you in and then words to explain it.
Yeah.
Rather than being too much of both, of either, it's a balance of both.
Yeah. And what did I say the number one goal of marketing is?
Drawing someone in.
Yeah. What's the number?
Understanding your target.
No. What's the number one goal of marketing?
Sales.
Not sales.
Interest.
Yeah. And how do we measure that? How many
leads you get?
How many leads did it get? So it won an award because it got, on paper, the most leads of any other piece of marketing.
Okay.
Because it did its job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It achieved. It wasn't just a nice one that everyone thought, oh, that looks great and it's brilliant. No, it got business through the door.
Mm.
It got people to take action and make inquiries. Mm. So the way it did it, if you look through this for the AIDA principle, okay, so how did it create attention?
A big picture of a bed and someone happy.
A big picture of a bed, yeah. More important than the bed?
The statement, my agony's over.
The headline.
Mm.
It has a really clear, concise headline.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're looking, you're going to see the picture and you're going to see the headline. You go, oh, that's interesting. Now, is this targeted? Is this headline and this picture targeted?
No, because it would affect everybody. It's targeted to those that have got problems specifically, but it shows everybody that it's a better mattress, especially if you're in pain.
So if I was writing this advert and I start with target market, okay, who would be my target market if I was selling these high-end expensive beds?
If you're aiming for those who are looking for a comfortable night, could be anybody. If you're aiming for those that have got as I say, something achy like this is, it's those with issues. Okay,
so I could be looking for people with issues, but it's more specific than that. This is an award-winning advert. This has got every element of great marketing in it. Okay, this advert took over 9 months to develop. I know that because
you wouldn't think of that, would you, from an advert? But that shows you how much goes into it that you don't see.
Yeah, exactly. This has been specifically designed. It took 9 months. Cost a lot of money to produce it, but sold a lot of beds.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's in the detail of this that this is what I want you to really understand. It's not just a thrown together advert with a headline. Everything on this page has been thought about, tested and measured to come up with its.
Yeah, there's different types of fonts to drag you into different places. So you look at certain things first.
So go back to targeting. I want you to see how clever this is on targeting. So I want to sell beds. So who is my target market?
Anybody.
That's not a target market, is it?
But anybody wants to buy a bed. So why is that a target? Why are you looking for go on. You tell me.
Okay. So if you think of this, this is an expensive bed.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. So who's likely to buy an expensive bed? What age demographic? What age demographic?
Well, someone who's affluent, probably 40s upwards.
40s upwards. Okay, 40, 50-year-old people. Okay, 20-year-olds don't buy expensive beds.
Not as a rule, but not always.
But we're talking about where the mass market is.
Yeah,
okay? We can't. The outliers we're not interested in. We're looking for the big meaty bit in the middle.
Yeah, grab the outliers, fine, but yeah, your target is those who've got money.
Yeah,
which tend to be older people. Yeah,
middle to higher aged groups. Okay, so and who generally buys a bed in a household?
The adults.
The adults, yeah. More specifically,
women, but you can't say that.
Why not? It's either true or it's not true. You can be as politically correct as you want.
I don't think it is. It's whoever needs a bed. It's whoever is the stronger of the group. You'd say women tend to be the dominants, but that's not always the case. But as you say, you're not looking for the always.
I'm not looking for the outliers. I'm looking for the majority.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would
the majority
to a woman in that top sentence.
The majority of households, yeah, the woman will make the decision on do we buy a bed. Blokes will put up sleeping on anything. You know, it's like, oh, right, okay, fine. Yeah, but they know from their research, because they've talked to their clients that
it tends to be the woman that drives it.
Females, yeah. Now it will always be backed up because the blokes, generally speaking, so it's not a time to be sexist or anything like that.
No, it wasn't big, no.
This is, you know, the bloke will reinforce it because when it comes to paying for it, they'll have part of the decision.
Yeah, and they also want the quiet life.
But exactly. But if your other half wants a new bed, you know, really badly, you know, you get a new bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if you look at the female on the bed, what age would you say she is?
40s.
40s.
Yeah. Which again fits in with the age demographic.
The right demographic. Okay. Now it's actually, because if you think about, you know, their demographic generally is 50, late 40s, 50s is where they know that's where their marketplace is. Because the other point this is focuses on is what people have bad night's sleep, yeah, which again is generally older people, bit less sort of, you know, malleable and can't just sleep on any old bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So when 50-year-old people, and say it's women, but it's also men as well, when we look in the mirror, what do we see? An older or younger person?
Older. I don't see a younger me. I see an older me. I'm always good. You dream that
perhaps okay. So perhaps I when we look in the mirror, that was the wrong thing, because I think you're probably right. I see an older person, but who do I relate to? Do I relate to older people or younger people?
I don't know. You'd like to dream you're younger, therefore you'd like to relate to younger people.
Exactly. It's generally around about a 10-year gap. Okay, so for 50-year-olds, they still think they're in their 30s, 40s.
And as Chris Bone would tell you, if it's a bloke, it's about 12.
Yeah.
And that's definitely across the board.
So this is not a 50-year-old woman. This is a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 50-year-old women will relate to a 40-year-old woman picture.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's done to the right demographic. It's done to the right sex. It's done to the right age group.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that attention grabbing is it's attracting the right type of people to that headline. Yeah. it's also quite clever here. It says, "Last, my agony is over." So that would suggest somebody with a bad back, wouldn't it? Or
Bad hips,
condition.
bad back. Yeah.
What about people whose partners have bad backs and constantly complain?
Oh yeah, earache.
Yeah. So it's also an agony. It's not a bad back. People who suffer from bad backs, it's agony, which could be many different types of agony. So we're actually keeping it nice and wide now, but your pain could be from all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be direct, it might be indirect.
Yeah. And I'll go back to the dissatisfaction and vision. We're picking on the dissatisfaction, but also the vision. Because we've got somebody here with a nice smiley face looking, oh, wouldn't it be nice to be able to feel like that person?
Yeah.
But also the agony, which is the dissatisfaction. So I'm now poking the dissatisfaction button and the vision button.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling people in, with the interest. There's a testimonial there because other people, social proof, other people think this is brilliant. So why wouldn't I? We've got some good copy. So not too much, the right balance, just enough to read, but not loads, because technical people will generally put too much information in. Yeah. So just the right amount of information to give me enough information in there. Okay. Obviously, desire comes from the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, this is a technical bed, the Temper bed. Yeah. Just from here, you can't see what memory foam mattress is. So we've got a little picture here depicting what memory foam is all about.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're creating some desire. Now, purpose of this advert is to what?
Get you to purchase. So make you believe it will be better if you have one of those. Great.
Okay. No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Go on then.
Okay. What's the purpose of marketing?
To draw in leads.
To draw in leads.
But if you want to order, if someone wants to go back to it, means they want to change it. It means they want to purchase, or they're likely to purchase.
This is not about purchasing a bed.
Go on then. What's it about?
Okay. So if we look at here, we have some free stuff. Yeah. We've got down here an offer, a 60-night trial offer. Yeah. We've got call to action, and we've got a coupon, because this is obviously a print advert. So the purpose of this ad, if I can sell some beds, great, from this ad.
But you're drawing in leads for other elements of.
Yeah. So what I want to know is, look, are you going to spend $5,000 on a bed off an advert and fill in a coupon and send a check? No, you're not. What you're going to do is you want more information. So what this is, it's a lead generator. So I'm now harvesting lots and lots of information about people who are interested in beds, in this particular type of bed.
Yeah. Okay.
And once I've got that information, now my sales process starts. Now I'm into sales. Now I'm into trust building, need identification, which is the next part. So the purpose of marketing is, all I want is your name, your phone number, or your email.
Yeah.
And to know that you have an interest in buying a new bed.
Yeah.
It's not about selling beds.
Which nowadays is where you get your cookies, and if you've gone onto a website, someone will go back to you because you looked. So it's the moved on concept.
Yeah. So one of the stats in a website will be, how many cookies have we placed? How many people have seen our remarketing?
Okay.
So you can start to see that just putting an advert together, no, it's far more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Far more thought should go into it, rather than just say, okay, I'm going to put an ad on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, who am I going after? What's my offer? How am I going to communicate it, and what do I want them to do? It's a bit like sort of, I think marketing trying to sell. Sometimes, if it's a need base, if my finger's bleeding, I need a plaster. So sell them a plaster. Yeah. But for a want desire, it's a journey towards that relationship to buy. Okay. And it's more like going into a nightclub, and just sort of, trying to pull on the first, first conversation,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, you might get lucky 1 in 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to have far better luck by actually taking people through a process, and stage by stage by stage until, actually right now, like and trust me, and therefore, we can move on.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And interesting thing with this is, out of all of that advert, where's the company logo?
Bottom corner.
Bottom corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are most adverts logo?
At the top, and
At the top.
it's better to put it at the bottom because you've got to go look for it, and you're looking for other things while you're looking. It's still there. It's still visible.
Still
but
there.
not in your face.
And the other clever thing for this is, generally when people read, do you know how they read? So if you just turn the page and you're looking at this, how you would scan this page.
The biggest things first. If you're looking at it's the biggest thing first, then you actually start to focus in on the bits you want to read.
If you think about how do you read a book? Where do you start reading a book?
Top to bottom, left to right.
Top to bottom, left to right. So basically, you come in at the top left. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You read across. Yeah. You scan down to the bottom left. You leave on the bottom right.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's this lady pointing?
To the right.
To the
right.
So I come in here. My eye goes naturally this way. And she takes me down here to where?
To the offer and to the company name.
The offer. Okay. Yeah. When I leave this page, what's the last thing I see?
The name.
The company name.
Mm.
So even the layout of the advert is designed to actually take you in here, take you across here, pick up all the most important facts. If you think outside of that Z, this stuff is superfluous.
Yeah, that is very true.
It's there to fill up, to make it look, like, and if I want to read it, I can read it, but it's basically, last mahogany is over. Oh, there's a bed. Oh, I can order now, some free stuff. And, oh, by the way, it's temper.
Yeah.
Okay. So even the layout of the advert is designed
strategic
to make it easy for people to read.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing in this advert that isn't there for a reason. The accreditation is there for a reason. These bullet points are there for a reason. The quote is there for a reason. Everything is being placed for a reason.
Mm.
Okay, it's not just a cobbled together advert, and most adverts that people do are just cobbled together, and you'll start to spot it now. The best place is if you look through the local, Romsey advertiser or Winchester advertiser or whatever. The adverts, they're awful. None of them. And when you see a good one and you apply the AIDA principle, you'll see why it's a good one.
Yeah.
And you can also do it on emails. So here's a good email, something nice and simple, headline, bit points, nice and simple, call to action.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you're saying 10 words instead of 300 words.
Yeah. Yeah. But everything, and sometimes you have to test and measure it, try different things out, but you've always got to come back to that AIDA principle. So understanding that the offer is so important. Okay, understanding my target market, how do I communicate, which is the best way to get that across. Doesn't matter then, whatever we do, we've got to measure it. Okay, so what gets measured gets done, and what gets measured gets improved.
Mm-hmm.
So in marketing, if you're not measuring it, you are just wasting money. So that measurement, if you remember back to when we started, it needs to tie in with a company budget. What is the sales I'm trying to achieve, and what is the amount of money I'm willing to spend in order to get those sales?
Yeah.
I need to understand my leading KPIs, so my activity-based KPIs, and my lagging, my result-based KPIs. So I do this, I get this. So I send 10 emails out, I get 8 responses. From those 8 responses, I get 3 I send out 3 quotes, I get one sale. Whatever those measurements are is important.
Yeah.
We break it down into, for company, department, product, service. So we break it down into its, for each campaign, break it down.
Parts.
Yeah. So if we look at a simple way to look at this is say, look, here's our 10 marketing strategies that we're using. Okay. This is how much we're going to invest in each one. This is what we're trying to achieve. This is the activity. This is the results that we're trying to get, and this is how many sales and how much. So I'm actually saying here, I want £5,000 of sales. I'm willing to spend 1,600 quid. And I'm spread betting across a number of strategies. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we can look at the actuals and say, right, well, that's what I said I wanted to do. That's what's happened. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're helping Sophie, one of the key things is, right, how are we going to measure this? How do we know what success looks like? Right. If I send this out, how am I going to be able to pat ourselves on the back at the end of the week, end of the month, and go, we nailed it? Yeah. If we don't understand that, and we don't understand the cost of it, then we can't market in the right way. Okay, so really, that to me is marketing, and all of this was summarized really nicely in this book called The Highly Effective Marketing Plan by Peter Knight, and he called it the hemp process. Okay, so we start off with our goals and targets. Yeah. If we don't know what we're trying to achieve, then we're destined not to achieve it.
No.
We either won't put enough, we'll waste too much effort, or we won't put enough effort in. It's generally we don't put enough effort in.
Yeah.
Who's my target audience? So what are they thinking? What do we want them to think? What's their pain? What's their pleasure? How educated are they? And it's not just everybody. You cannot go into marketing with everybody. You've got to be really specific and targeted on who you're actually going for.
Yeah.
What's the story? So why do they want to buy? What is it about your product or service that is better than anybody else's? How are they going to understand the brand, the story brand? How are they going to understand your USP? Is it relevant to them? So what is it that what is the message we want to get across to them in our marketing? Then how are we going to communicate it? What's the best medium in which to get that message to that target audience? And finally, how do we control and measure it? How are we going to know what success looks like? Okay. And marketing is, it's half art, it's half science. There is a skill to making an advert look good. Like that tent to bed one. There's a lot of skill goes, but there's a lot of science that goes into it as well. So you can have a fantastic looking advert that doesn't work. You can have a crap advert that works really well. But if you don't understand what it is, and if you can make a crap advert that works well, you can make it better by making it look good, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Shows the consumer doesn't realize half what goes into drawing them in.
Once there's a lot of psychology and why we make decisions and why we do certain things. There's a lot of psychology around that, but the essence is, it's not difficult once you understand your target and you put your feet in their shoes. Well, if I was them, what would I be looking for? Okay, if you don't know, go and ask your clients. Go and ask people. Do market. That's why people do market research.
Yeah.
Because I understand. So what is it? But most of the time, you do. But talk to them in their language, not your language. They don't want to know all the science of it. What you're selling them probably makes up 1% of their life. It's 100% of your life, but 1% of their life.
Yeah. And that you have to appreciate as well.
So you've got to communicate in their language rather than in your language. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So really, as a result of today, you should be able to go back and say, right, sit with Sophie, sit with the Clive, or just say, okay, so let's set our marketing goals between us. What are our limiting beliefs? What are the company's limiting beliefs? This may not be an individual. It might be, what's the company's limiting beliefs about it? And then, write up that HEMP plan. What are my goals? Who's my target? What's my story? What's my offer? How am I going to get the message across? And how am I going to measure it? So, and I've got, if you want, I've got a little template that you can use to actually basically fill the gaps in.
Fill the gaps in.
Last year's question, so I can send that to you, Claire.
Yeah, please, that'd be good.
If anyone else is obviously watching this that wants a copy of that, I can send that to them. So.
Yeah, I'll keep that in my arsenal and use it as I need to.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Good. Any final questions?
No, I think you've opened my eyes, definitely.
Good. So just let me to finish and say, Google, lights out.
Oh, you dare.
So great to have you on, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
Yeah, take care, my dear. See you later.